Alright, what up, Chip Chaps? This is the Daredevil special reviews for episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I am Fu-Ray, and this is my lovely co-host.
Lovely, I am Samba. I'm not lovely. Yeah.
You're dapper, that's for sure.
There we go.
Alright, so, firstly, we're going to talk about what we thought about the show before we were actually able to watch it.
Yeah.
And then we'll discuss
The first two episodes.
the revelation.
Yeah.
Of what
Alright,
the
first off,
two
obviously,
episodes were.
Netflix and Marvel have teamed up to do original Marvel series.
Yeah.
Daredevil is the first in line of, I think, 4 shows.
It's going
Was
to
it
be...
4 all
it's
up, because
gonna
you've
be
got A.K. Jessica
4.
Jones, 4 not including the Defenders thing in here.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be 4 series: Daredevil, a.k.a. Jessica Jones,
Yep.
Luke Cage,
Yep.
and Iron Fist.
Yep.
And then they will all meet up together in a mini-series called The Defenders, which I still don't know if it's going to be a full season or a full... 12 episodes or whatever. I think that one's
They
a
say
mini
8.
though. I think that one's I was gonna say I think that's only like 6 or 7 episodes or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, 8 is fine.
8 is
Totally fine. It's crazy already that we're getting a series with all these characters.
baffling. It's so baffling.
And I'm really curious, man. Okay, before we even get into any of that, all right. So, what did you think about the series just from what we had seen, pictures and set stuff before we watched it? What was your thoughts going in?
All right. Well, obviously, a lot of the reveals from before the show began, it was showing a lot of that black outfit,
Right.
and it looked cool. I mean, the stills, obviously, you can't really tell much from stills alone, but it looked like it was going to be decent. At least at that point, it was going to be decent.
Right, and it looked
was-
like the Ramita design.
Yeah,
so-
absolutely. And
And
at
the
that
Frank
point,
Miller
I was just
thing,
hopeful that. Listen, in my head, I was like, if it's as good as how Shield is now, I'll be happy. It can't be that garbage either. Like, I know you were saying, it's a Netflix original, and I hadn't really watched many Netflix shows, prior to that. And you were like, check out, what's it, Marco Polo. In
Yeah,
terms of the
that's the
quality.
one that
Yeah.
gave me confidence.
Yeah,
in
see,
it.
you said that, and I was like, all right, I'll give that a shot. And I watched it, I was like, all right, if it's like that looked quality,
Yeah.
So I was hoping, yeah, hopefully it's going to be of quality. What were your thoughts walking into it?
I was really excited about it, and it was another one of those things where they said, for the action that they were inspired by the Raid and various other.
Did they say that?
Top of the line? Yeah, they did.
I did not know that. That's what they said.
Yeah.
So
Because they said it was going to be a lot of close quarter stuff, and they wanted the hits to be brutal and feel like they hurt. Like they wanted it to be visceral and like a real fight, So I was excited about that, but hesitant because Turtles had let me down.
yeah,
saying
exactly.
that
It's
kinda
like
stuff
every
before.
time anybody says that now, I'm just like, don't say anything like that.
Right, just don't even bring up the
Don't even
Raid.
bring up the Raid because you're morons.
Right, because that's top. You know,
is.
don't say
Yeah.
your guys are going for the top if you're not going
No,
for the top.
exactly. Not even close to it with some of it, like Turtles.
Yeah, so I was excited, but I was hesitant, and I was really, really hoping that we would get to see the red suit at some point.
Yeah.
So I think that was really all I had known about it. I didn't know any of the main guys' work because I only watched Stardust.
Have you finished watching? Have you watched Stardust already?
Yeah, we finished it.
Okay. I knew of his work from Stardust. I've watched. There was another film. There was another British film that I'd watched from him. I love Stardust. So I was like,
Stardust
all
is
right. But then I'm
good.
like,
Matthew
that's a very
Beast.
different character.
Yeah.
Why I was like, how is he going to play Matt Murdock? Like, he's a good actor. I enjoyed the shit out of Stardust, but that was because the film Stardust was awesome. Yeah, him walking into this, walking into the footsteps of this character, I don't really know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect from it.
Right. But yeah, I didn't really know of his work that much, but I was excited about what was her name? Deborah Ann Hall.
Yeah.
She's from True Blood, and she was one of my favorite characters. She was the baby vampire character, so she
Oh,
got made
okay.
on the show and
Okay.
was kind of experiencing everything at once.
Mm-hmm.
And she was awesome. She was
She's
one of the
dope.
best parts of it. She had even a segment on True Blood for their like web series
Okay.
was just her doing a blog. So she was like her talking into the camera about
That's
whatever's going on
weird.
the show. It was really bizarre, but it was really cool because I haven't really seen any other shows doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. Sorry, the stuff got cut off, and we just had to jump back into recording. So
Yeah.
sorry for the abrupt, the abrupt conversation
Switch if there's
direction
anything.
change or whatever,
Yeah.
momentum change.
Mm-hmm.
But Deborah Ann Hall, she's awesome. She was one of the best parts of True Blood for me,
She's
and
dope.
so I'm very, very excited to see how she plays into the show. And I didn't really know much about her character.
Yeah, neither do I.
Going in, I just knew that when I read the Kevin Smith Daredevil comics, she died. So
Is this a spoiler?
I don't think so because she's the Lois or so. I don't know what the allegory would be, but she's the main love interest for Daredevil. So I don't think she'll be dying anytime soon. Um, but yeah, but who knows? That was the only characters they had shown were like him and Foggy and her and Kingpin. Everybody else is a mystery.
Yeah, everybody else was up in the air and stuff, so it's like I didn't really know what to expect from anybody.
And the dude playing Foggy, I knew him from Mighty Ducks and some various other
He
stuff.
was in Idle Hands.
Yeah. He shows up in random stuff. He's a good character actor.
Does.
So I was excited to see how he was going to play Foggy. I was really fond of the old Daredevil's Foggy. I thought Jon Favreau played a good Foggy Nelson. His sense of humor was good for Foggy.
Yeah.
But now that they're going younger, I think this guy does it well.
Yeah, he does. He's doing the job. He's selling it.
Okay, so that was our
thoughts going into it. Yeah.
So let's start with the first episode.
All right, first episode. I like the way it's filmed. It feels like it's got a budget.
Yeah, the look of it.
It's a good looking show.
And I love the opening scene is the
the intro is great.
Yeah, they just start right in like here's how it happens. And I love that sort of like Arrow, I guess it's kind of interspersed between flashbacks and current timeline.
Yeah.
But it's done so much better.
Yeah, it's not
so much better.
Is it me? Like maybe because I'm just annoyed by the Arrow flashbacks.
Right.
But these ones aren't annoying me right now. I know we're only 2 episodes in technically, but it's not annoying. I think it's because we get to see further than we're not seeing the current actor with longer hair, for example.
Right.
But
we're actually seeing some of it to me is the quality of it.
Yeah.
Because if you're watching this show with really quality actors, and these are a lot of them are movie actors.
Yeah, all of them have starred in film, if anything.
And it feels so much less soap opera-y than Arrow does. Because Arrow's a CW show.
I was going to say
so it instantly pulls me, I'm like, oh man, watching this, I go, oh yeah, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
this is what I wanted.
But it's weird.
This is the great version of what Arrow is.
It's what Arrow could be if it were a film treated like a film in a sense.
Or if Arrow was an HBO show or something.
Oh, dude, that would be so different. But this feels of quality. I
think it's interesting the language of the show. They use the word shit a lot. It seems like it's we're saying shit a lot, so it's edgier and it's darker. But we're not gonna say fuck because we're not quite an HBO show. We're still Marvel.
But I'm still okay with that because even if it makes hints that it is part of that Marvel Cinematic Universe with how they talk about what has happened. It still feels like it does feel like a grittier side because we're focusing on one city, or one part of the city even, where it feels more grounded, definitely more realistic.
Yeah, I really like the idea of doing this street level.
I love it. This is exactly what I want.
And I'm really curious. Man, I'm really curious how it's gonna work with
Everything else.
yeah, the
Yeah.
other stuff in Daredevil's storyline,
Yeah.
if they'll ever introduce Elektra or any of that stuff, like
Oh,
it's
I'm just
fucking crazy.
hoping this thing goes well so that we can get more and more of this.
Right. So first episode, they start right away. They start with Matt Murdock's accident
Mm.
that blinds him.
Mm-hmm.
It's barrels filled with chemicals
You
and
got
a
that old
car
man saying,
accident.
"He pushed me out the
And
way."
I appreciate that they didn't show it. They didn't
Yeah,
feel it was necessary to show
exactly. It's
it and
almost like,
choreograph that
yeah.
weird move of how he gets it in his eyes or
It's
whatever.
almost like this is what happened. You see the
Right.
aftermath, and yeah, like make up your own mind. It's almost like we're not going to treat our audience like they're freaking idiots. Like they need to be. We need to hold their hands through this entire thing.
Yeah. And they didn't need to show him be
No.
heroic. They just said
Yeah.
he pushed me out of the way. He
Yeah.
saved
You
me
got the
from
old
it.
man saying he saved me. That's it.
Then you pretty quickly get to see him out doing his thing
He started
because
early, man. Yeah.
he's out there stopping because they flash forward and he's stopping, a trafficking ring. It turns out to be, and oh man, I gotta say the action, man, the fight choreography in this show,
It's excellent, dude.
it's really good.
Like when you
It's
said the
really good.
raid, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is probably closer than anyone that stated they want to do the raid style.
It is the closest. It is the closest because they did what they said they were going to do. The hits look like they hurt.
It looks
The
painful. Like some of it
Yeah,
looks like like out of all the Marvel things, this feels the most brutal.
I love his fighting style because he hits like a wild boxer. Like
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
his punches are
Crazy,
crazy, and
crazy.
and I love that he gets like winded and hurt while he's
It's
doing
yeah.
it.
We'll get to that part talking about episode 2, but yeah, it's great. Even in the first one,
Even
it's
and
like
then the
yeah.
first
Mm-hmm.
one, the fact that it looks like it's hurting him
Oh
to
yeah,
hit the
like
guys as well, but
yeah.
he's tearing them up, man.
He's wild,
Yeah,
and I like that they with the flashbacks anyway. They make mention that it's part of the Murdoch blood in a sense. They're kind
right.
of like watch out for
It's
them.
something that he definitely learned from his
Yeah,
dad.
he got that from his old man.
And his dad is a crazy person. Apparently, he said he used to let his opponents hit him until they would get
Yeah,
tired.
and then he would take him out.
Yeah, and then he would take him out.
Like that's hardcore.
And I loved in the first episode that they had a little. They had showed a poster on the wall
Mm-hmm.
for the Creel
Yeah,
versus Murdoch
the
thing.
Krill versus I was like, that's cool, man. That means there's already one tie.
There's already one tied to the rest of the universe, and specifically already a tie to Shield because
Yes,
Crusher Creel was an enemy on
That's
Shield.
exactly
That
it.
same
Mm-hmm.
character, not his dad.
Mm-hmm.
It is that same guy.
He was a young one because he was rising.
Right, because they said he was a young boxer that was
Yep.
just starting up.
So
He easily
let's make
could
him
be the
fight.
same
Let's
guy.
make him fight a veteran because he's obviously an old schooler, like his old man.
Right. So it's really cool that it's connected. It feels cool, man. It feels really
It feels
cool.
really good. It feels
And
good. But what happened in the
just
episode?
yeah. So after the first section of the episode where you get to see him in combat or whatever, they're starting to tie all these things together. You get to see the situation that's starting with Karen Page
Yeah.
as she's kind of caught red-handed with a knife and
Yeah.
covered in blood and a dude covered in stab wounds and blood.
Dead
But
on her
she has
floor.
but she has no idea how he got there, and she's losing her shit. She completely, doesn't think that she did it, and she's just not sure what's going on, and they haven't given us any information to see if she's done it or whatever. We're just going in blind like she is, no pun intended. And I like the way that they are going about her character so far. That making their first case, it seems like something that would normally bother me, that their first case ever is Karen Page,
Yeah.
who's ends up being really important to them. But I really like it so far. It makes sense because it's there. I didn't know going in that this was going to be the origin story of them as lawyers as well.
Mm.
I thought, similar to the old Daredevil movie, I thought they would have been doing it for a while, but Matt's always the guy who wants to do everything pro bono because he just wants to help people, yada yada. And there's a bit of that as well because that's true to the character. But I didn't expect that we were going in with them as they're starting this.
I like it though. It feels, but it doesn't feel, for some reason, it's not feeling forced down my throat.
No,
It's like,
I really
this
do
is the
enjoy
origin, you know. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, and I'm glad because obviously expectations from the start were like, oh, you know, I'm just hoping for the best. This is exceeding my expectations already.
Mm-hmm. And so the first episode is primarily about them taking her case and going into to try and free her and assess whether or not she really killed them. Apparently Foggy has a friend who's a cop, and he gets tips from him occasionally on who he should talk to, and
that's how they contacted. That's how they got in contact with.
Lucky
Karen.
them. The first thing that he contacts them about is Karen Page.
Yeah.
I'm curious if the cop friend character will come up again, or if that was literally just
a one-off. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, you know, we'll find out soon enough, I suppose.
Right. And where did they go from there?
I have no idea. I'm being distracted right now. Sorry.
After they meet Karen and talk to her a few times, they realize that something incredibly tragic has happened to her, and they decide they want to take her case.
Yes. And
she can't go home because they know where she lives or whatever. Mm-hmm. And and that's the crazy thing too is someone tries to kill her in her cell.
Yeah. Because they had connections. Like it seems like the people who are doing all, like the criminals, I suppose, in this world. Yeah, they have connections everywhere.
Yeah,
and clearly some of the police, the correctional officers, were connected.
And if there's no, bigger hint that there's more going on to their story, is that someone is already trying to kill her after this incident. That could have just been her killing her boyfriend or something, as far as we know as the audience. So we get to see that someone is attempting to off her and get her out of there, and so there's something more going on. Matt questions her about it. It ends up being something more involved, an extortion ring.
I also like that when Matt's listening to people talk, you can hear the heartbeat. That's kind of a thing.
Right, like his lie detector.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
It's an interesting way to do it without having to do it visually.
Yeah, because obviously it's almost relying on the fact that, hey, he is blind. So
right, it's almost like us listening in.
Mm-hmm, that's exactly
like it. Our powers activating.
Yeah. Our powers elevating to hear that, but it's essentially we're hearing it from his point of view.
Right.
And I think that's great. I think it's a nice subtle way, and it does the job.
We get to meet Kingpin's right-hand guy.
Yep.
Still no sightings of Kingpin, but
not yet.
They assess that he works for someone, and that person is a real big deal and is taking over other people's territory. Because they say that, that he was looking to settle someone's debt or whatever, and they were taking over from someone else, and I think the Italians or something, and that's how they get someone to go and attempt to kill Karen Page in the beginning, is they kind of tell him that they'll kill his daughter if they don't. So they instantly, I guess, get some sympathy for this guy that's going to go try and murder a prisoner. But after you meet the right-hand guy, they go back to the apartment. Karen tries to sneak out, and a dude, of course, goes to murder her. And then Matt gets back in action and has to go save her, because, of course, he hears her leave because he's got super hearing.
And because he knew she was hiding something.
Right. And then you get to see him fight an assassin, which is cool, because it's the first time you get to see him fight someone who knows how to fight back.
Yeah, and it's great because he can handle it.
And it was great to see that fight in particular because it's brutal. It's between
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
two trained
exactly.
combatants, and the fighting is good,
The
man. It's
fighting is
good.
great. It's
There's
close
crazy good
combat.
choreography.
He gets hit,
It
and I
doesn't
like that.
it doesn't feel like a bunch of shaky cams, so you
Not
can't
at all.
follow the
Oh,
combat.
that would be annoying. It's here. It's close ups. He zooms
Yeah,
out a little bit. It is slightly sped up at times, but again, I was saying before, it's like it felt like at times they would slow it down slightly, even. You know?
right. And and the fighting is definitely brutal. Like at the midpoint of that fight with the assassins, they get thrown out of a window and
Yeah,
hit a bunch of scaffolding on
and
the
they
way
just
down.
fall. Yeah, exactly. It's like ow,
Yeah, it was really
ow.
really intense looking.
But even there, it's like they cut like when he lands on the ground, cuts
Hmm.
to a flashback, but
Yeah,
it's not annoying for some reason.
right. And and that particular fight is cool because you get to see him like listening for what the guy's doing.
Yeah, and
Like
that's
there's a one
rad.
sequence where he blocks a knife and then the dude switches hands and like catches the knife
And he
midair.
hears it. He hears like,
And
oh,
yeah, he hears it switch hands, and that's where he starts to like move out of the way or whatever. It's really really fucking cool.
mm-hmm.
It almost reminds me of like the Sherlock movies and stuff. How
Yeah.
they slow down and let you see him observing things.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. I wish that the combat in the Spider-Man movies were a bit more like that with his spider sense.
Because that would make sense. Because that
Right.
is a spider sense.
But they always go so big with Spider-Man's fights that you don't get to see any of that kind of
Which
stuff.
is, I think, is still a mistake because he is a street level.
I know we talked about that. I hope I get my wish on the Spider-Man thing. We
I
won't go
don't think
back into
so, man.
that.
Yeah. Anyways, yep.
Uh,
Continue with
so
this.
so Karen sees that she's saved by this masked vigilante character, and he's like, I got this little thumb drive that
That you actually
is the
hit.
reason that someone tried to kill
Mm-hmm.
you, and then they dump him and the murderer assassin guy in front of the newspaper.
Yep. Because it's like, if we go to the cops, it's not going
And
to
I
do
gotta say,
anything.
dude, when he picks up the newspaper the next day and looks at it, it's like the New York Bulletin or something like that.
Yeah.
I was half expecting it to
You're
say
hoping, yeah? I knew
because if they're part of the same
I
universe
know
now,
you
it's
were
like,
hoping.
yeah, I was
Although
like,
back then, was it
which is
actually, was it part of it?
not officially
Yeah,
yet.
see, that's
But
probably why.
that's something that they could have shot just a dude's hand in a newspaper yesterday
That's
and put
true.
it in.
That's true. But, also, there's more than one newspaper in the city.
It's true. It's true.
New York
It
is
just would have.
massive.
It just would have been a real.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would have
Easter
been
egg
it would have been like a sweet Easter egg.
Yeah, yeah.
But I get the fact that it's like this is a certain section of
Right.
New York. You know.
But basically, that episode ends with now that Karen is saved.
Yep.
She
She
they-
offers her help. Yeah.
She offers to help them out and be a secretary, basically. And then you get a little bit of a hint at some underground stuff going on with like maybe an Asian triad type gang or
Yeah.
something.
I think there's like a Chinese. There's a Chinese mafia. That old lady.
Yeah,
There's
but
a
there
Ja-
was something weird in that scene where like all the people
Were blind.
working, all their eyes
Yeah.
were all burnt
They
out
were
or
blind.
something.
They were all blind. They were doing it blind.
Yeah, that is bonkers to
Yeah,
me.
it's weird. It's weird. Like, and it goes to show it's like okay, I like that the way it ended because it was okay. They captured the assassin guy. He's the whole plan is revealed because it was like whatever Karen found. It's out in the open now. But then there are still a lot of stuff going down in the city.
And it looks like some sort of like maybe war between the gangs or something,
Possibly.
or I think because it's Kingpin, it seems like maybe he is trying to
Unite.
organize all the gang, like unite them under
Yeah,
him.
I reckon that's it.
And they've each got their thing, and it looks
Mhm.
like the Asian gang's thing is drugs or something. I don't remember
Yeah,
what they were all
they've got
doing.
their specialties basically.
Yeah. But it definitely looked like they're all gravitating towards the center of Hell's Kitchen and taking it over slowly. And at the very end of the episode, somebody's being beaten up and a kid is kidnapped. The kid, or the son, I guess, of the dude being beaten up. And then they go up to the rooftop, and Matt hears it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the last thing. He pulls his mask down, and he's off to go deal with that kid.
Yep.
And I gotta say, dude, just as if that was all they gave us is just a pilot of it, I
Yep.
would have been more than satisfied.
Absolutely. Like when that episode ended, I was like, this did so much more than I was expecting from it.
Yeah, and it
Like
was,
it
and
did enough.
it's perfect for this. Like, I almost, I feel like if they can do them this well, man, I'm glad they're doing these as
I
series of
am too.
movies.
I'm too. I'm glad that they didn't just give us a Daredevil movie.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
because it
because he
works
were
great
actually
as a
yeah,
series.
and plus we're getting a lot. We're getting a lot more when we think about it.
Yeah,
You know, like if you add all three Iron Man movies,
yeah.
a lot happens, sure, but in terms of the time that we're getting,
Yeah, they could have done a lot more as a series.
absolutely,
But,
absolutely.
they couldn't have done all the crazy effect stuff
That's
without
true.
those movies.
That's true. That's why it makes sense for these types of characters.
For the big time Avengers,
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Uh, but yeah, if it was a regular series and we were only getting one of them a week, I'd still be fine with it because they're quality, man.
Yeah.
They're quality.
Yep.
They feel like miniature movies. They're
They
each
do.
about 50 minutes or
About 50
whatever.
minutes
So
apiece, yeah.
they, it's so good. I just imagine, dude, with the fights that are in this. Imagine what the fuck Iron Fist is gonna be.
Oh my goodness. They're saving that to last as well.
Yep.
He's gonna be amazing then.
Yeah, because if Matt is this good, Iron Fist has to be better.
Iron Fist he's one of the best fighters in the entire Marvel universe. He has to
Yeah.
be.
So, yeah, I'm really excited for that, man. Okay, so episode 2.
I love the way it started.
Yeah, and I gotta say, first off, the opening title sequence
That's amazing. It's
is
fantastic.
really cool. I
Yeah.
really like the look of it. It's kind of like dripping blood or red
Actually,
paint.
to be honest, I when I first saw it, I was like, hey, I get sort of similar vibes to the Hannibal intro. To be honest, if it was the same guy doing it, it wouldn't surprise me.
I've not seen the intro to
Yeah,
Hannibal.
the intro to
so
Hannibal is very arty and shit like that. It's very cool looking. It's very cool
to
looking.
me, it reminded me of a blood version of like Game of Thrones intro
I
because
honestly,
they're like making parts of the city out of it, and it's like the reverse of the city kind of coming out of the ground. This one is all like dripping from the top down. But I think it's really cool. They show like the bridges being formed with it, and then at the end they kind of have like just the man's figure with the devil horns. But since it's all red, you instantly make that connection. I think it's really really cool.
yeah, it's
looking.
really well done. But yeah,
Um,
episode 2.
I don't know how I feel about the music, but it does what it's supposed to do. It's just not exciting. He doesn't have like a great this is Daredevil's theme.
I don't know if he needs it yet.
Yeah, maybe that's something to give him when he gets the suit.
Yeah.
Okay, so episode 2 is got a great opener. It's just somebody searching through the trash.
Well, he's about to throw his trash away, then he's like,
Yeah.
I
Sees
gotta.
dude
Yeah.
in the dumpster.
We don't even know. Like, I didn't know what he was looking at.
Yeah, you don't know what he sees in the
And then,
dumpster.
like, you see him run, drop his trash, run, and then they zoom into the trash, and it's just him. It's just Matt
Right.
Murdock, just breathing really hard. Like, he just got belted the shit out of. Which
Yeah.
was weird, because I'm like, because it's great, because, the way the last episode left off, you're like, oh, he's a gangster, dude.
Right.
He could take on Assassin. Like, how the hell did he get to this point there?
And they introduce Night Nurse.
Yeah.
Which is played by Rosario Dawson in this series. They had, stuff has been leaked about who she was playing for a while, and they'd been talking about it or whatever, so I was expecting her to show up, but, I didn't know if they'd be showing her so soon. But I guess, they've got to do it now while he's, to make it a reason why he keeps getting patched up when he's getting messed up or whatever. So, and I think it's cool how they show her. She's, she apparently lives right in Hell's Kitchen, and she is friends with somebody in the building who brought him up to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to assume that he knew already about he had also heard stories about the dude in the black mask, like she had. Because otherwise, I don't know why he instantly went to her, unless she's been doing this for other people as well. But I don't think that's the case. But you meet Night Nurse. She's helping him. Matt's knocked out or whatever, and it goes into a connected flashback of how he can take a beating, and he says he got it from his dad, and his dad gets beat up or whatever, and
all the time
loses a fight to a TKO, and comes home or whatever, and has like an envelope full of cash, and the envelope full of cash, I think. I don't know if it's supposed to imply that he threw that fight. And
that's what I got. Like, he basically throws fights because other people, obviously, you know, it's money. It's quicker money.
Right. And so yeah, he's pretty beat up, but you know, as they said, he can take a beating. So he stands there and eats it, and then goes out on a certain round, I imagine, and that's how he makes the money.
Yeah, he's supposed to like go down on whatever round, like say the 5th round, for example. Like hold out to the 5th round, you go down, and we're gonna make this money, and you get this cut.
So implying that kind of thing has been happening for a while. Then you get a nice little character beat with Foggy singing some musicals or something. And, you know, which is cool. You know, they're just introducing more humor to the Foggy character and showing how...
he's that type of character.
Right. I think that it's cool. It's cool how they're getting more time and to do this, you know, because, like... In the Daredevil movie, like, Foggy has to be constantly quipping and constantly throwing out these one-liners and stuff.
Here it's not rushed because, you know, they don't have to rush it.
Exactly. It feels more like reading a comic book than watching comic book movies do, because they have to do so much in so little time.
It felt like we read, like, an episode is like a 2-issue.
Right.
If that makes sense.
But then you get to see how the flashbacks and stuff, and they do a lot of jumping back and forth. But it doesn't feel jarring at all. But they jump around to Matt's dad training and him hearing about having to take a dive, and they're demonstrating that the powers had been there or whatever. And even as a kid, he could hear really well because he's hearing conversations on the other side of the room or whatever. And he hears that they want Matt's dad to take a dive in his next fight against Crusher Creel. And he agrees to it because they basically are like, they threaten him or whatever and say it'll be much better for his kid if he takes a dive or whatever, and he agrees. But then he has a conversation with Matt, and he says, like, their family motto is, we can go down, but we always get up.
We always get up. And that basically made him rethink. It's like, yeah, he's got a freaking point. I'm just can't do it.
So he calls a bookie and was like, decides, I'm going to win this thing. He calls a bookie and says,
I'm going to bet everything. All on him.
And,
but make sure as soon as he's down, right, you gotta do this.
You gotta cash out.
You gotta cash out. Yep, because he was basically like protecting, everybody.
He's trying to protect his friend, but he's like, this is happening either way.
Yeah, like he almost knew what was gonna happen if he gets busted.
Right.
So, yeah.
Then you get to see them flash back towards current day Matt, who's now trying to find out what's going on with the guy that beat him up or whatever.
Also, who is like really super smashed up in like in the apartment in
he was pretty messed up. They had to punch a hole in his lungs or whatever.
He had he was cut up. He had like stab wounds.
And then the guy that was trying to look for him is pretending to be a cop or whatever, and then
shows more of his ability.
He goes to leave, and Matt is like, he doesn't believe you. And then he grabs like a fire extinguisher.
That was awesome. I laughed so hard at that scene.
Yeah, it was very, if you've seen American Psycho and he drops the chainsaw on the lady trying to escape, It was basically that, but with a
But not
fire
as brutal.
extinguisher, and it was pretty funny.
Mm.
Um, but then they have to get him up to the roof so nobody can hear him scream, basically, and they go to interrogate him. I'm guessing to find out what's going on with the kid. In the meantime, Karen Page and Foggy are bar hopping and getting continuously more and more drunk, which was great when they show up to his apartment later.
Yeah.
A few flashes back and forth, and you get to see the actual fight area when he gets his classic Battle and Jack robe with the red and yellow. And he seems not into the fact that it's so red. But, I guess they call him Battle and Jack. He wasn't Jack the Devil like in the original Ben Affleck movie version. But I don't know why they changed it to that. But I guess it was easier to go. He becomes the devil because his dad was the devil.
Yeah.
Nobody puts it together. It's fine.
Yeah. rather than the devil, because it's like, I wonder.
Right.
This one is less on the nose.
Even his outfit or something, if I remember, I thought his hood had horns on it or something in that movie.
Which one?
In the Ben Affleck one.
Really?
I thought his robe had, like, horns on it.
That's the best.
Maybe I made that up, I don't remember. But you get to see him go out and get ready to fight, and then it flashes back to the current situation with Matt, and they've got the night nurse character in the background with like the weirdest like hoodie and face.
It looks creepy as.
It looks so weird. And I think in the comic she just wears like a nurse's outfit. I don't think she gets like a costume. So I don't know what the goal is. If that's the closest thing that we'll ever see her in a suit. Or if she gets a suit, I don't know. But it was still funny either way. And he's interrogating the dude, and they find out where the kid is at, and he tosses him off the roof anyway, which was pretty great.
And she's like, what the hell?
And but he lands in the same dumpster that they start out in the beginning of the episode, and which was funny. And then you get to see the fight happen, or you don't even really get to see the fight happen, but you get to see him prepare to go out to fight and basically dominate the dude. You assume because he wins, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's chanting Murdoch, 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 like he said he wanted his son to finally hear for once, is him having his name chanted by the crowd.
And he did.
And he got that. And then on the way home, he got a bullet. And you don't see it happen, you hear it happen. And
which makes sense because, it's from Matt's perspective again.
Right.
He can't see anything happening, so he heard it. And he knew already. He knew.
He hears it happen, and it's rough though. I think that the kid that they got to play young Matt, he's fine, right? What do you think about that kid?
He's not annoying. Well,
he's fine. He's not bad enough to be annoying.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, that's really the goal at this point. Because most of the time, kid actors annoy me.
I'm only worried once he starts fighting and stuff.
Maybe they won't show that.
They do show he's going to get trained by Stick.
Oh, we'll get to that then. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not annoyed yet.
I saw it in one of the TV spots. So
I don't remember.
That's going to be weird. Because it's going to be weird regardless. It's not the kid's fault. Just once you start showing little kids doing martial arts and stuff, it could get weird.
Good.
But I'm excited because they haven't really included Stick before. And
the fact that we have a Stick in this is
awesome. It's super awesome. But the end of the episode closes out with Matt going to get that kid, and you get the scene from the original trailer of him going through the hallway and
open the door. But that's all you get to see in the teaser.
And man, dude,
it's easily one of the best.
So dope.
That's the thing. I look at this and I'm like, oh, they've set the bar, haven't they?
Yeah, you get to see someone get hit with a microwave.
Yeah, I fucking laughed. I burst because I'm like, all right, he looks inside. All of a sudden, you see a microwave just get thrown through his head.
All right.
And I'm like, what the? Awesome.
And I love the way that Matt uses their weapons, their guns as weapons.
Yeah.
Like, he uses it as clubs. Like,
Yep.
he's not shooting at them or whatever.
No,
He'll throw them and hit them with it. And the enemies, unlike most movie enemies, when they get hit, they can get back up, and the fight can keep going.
And that's what they've done. But, like, once they get hit really badly, that's when they actually fall.
Even then.
Actually, yeah, some of them actually kept getting back up.
He goes to one side of the hallway, and they all fall down, and then they start getting back up, and he has to keep getting up and re-fighting them. So he fights these same, like, 8 dudes, like, 3 different times, and all the fight scenes are really long cuts. They don't cut away and cut back.
That's why it looks great, because you know how they hide behind certain doors at times?
Yeah.
I like that. I appreciate that. Because we don't have to see everything, and obviously it's better for the actor.
Right.
But it's believable still. Like, he doesn't always fight in the hallway. Sometimes he'll bring it to a certain room where the door, you know, is covering the way. But you can hear shit's going down still. Then he'll throw them back out.
And that fight, though, I just gotta say, dude, the choreography is
impressive,
stellar.
Impressive.
The hits look stellar. I
love how he looks like he gets tired.
Yeah, like,
you know, there's fatigue.
He's fighting them and literally like hitting them and then leaning against the wall. Like, it's so good.
But the way he punches are great. It's believable.
I don't know if it's what's the main actor's name?
Charlie Cox.
I don't know if it's him doing all of the fights, but if it is, man, I'm really impressed.
Yeah, it's almost like fucking good on. You know, even if it's not, like if it's the majority him, but then there's obviously like a stunt double and whatnot.
Right.
Impressive.
And I like him as Matt Murdock.
I do.
So far, I like him as. I mean, there's not much for him to do as Daredevil. He's just quiet, but it's good. It's good. It ends on a positive note. That action scene's incredible. He saves the kid. It's good, man. I could not be more
when he
satisfied.
saves the kid, how he made sure that he lifted his mask.
Right.
You know, because he doesn't want to scare the kid.
Right. I love it. I love it. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah, it's this show is, well, so far, we're only 2 episodes deep, but this is how they should, like, if this is an indication of what they're gonna do with the other shows, then fucking absolutely yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
There's a lot of small little details and Easter eggs, like the rope around his hands to look like the old comic. Just everything is good.
Yeah, everything is good. Like, I'm sure if we, after like several rewatches, we're like, oh, okay, this and that. But right now, I can't be anything but happy.
And I'm sure if you're listening to this, I'm hoping that you've at least seen the first 2 episodes, because we're gonna have to put spoiler tags because we basically described everything.
Well, yeah, this Daredevil series thing is essentially
we're
spoilers.
Fully reviewing it, so spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
But if you somehow are watching this and haven't seen it, watch it, man.
Get Netflix. It's available in Australia now. Don't be a cheap ass.
There's no reason not to check it out because
it's $11 a month. That's nothing.
Cancel after you watch it if you want, and it's cheaper than going to the movies, and it's a 13-hour movie.
And there's other stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, so I can't advise more that you check it out, and hopefully you keep checking out these reviews and stuff. We're gonna keep trying to do them. If it's not, each thing is 2 episodes, so we'll try and
do it like
maybe we won't do like a full rundown of each, but we'll talk about story.
Yeah, we'll write down points from what has happened, because I know I'm gonna keep, because I doubt, because I got a convention this weekend, so I doubt we'll manage to do like every 2 episodes, but we'll try our best to do a couple at least.
We just we wanted to get this one out real quick since we were really excited to watch it. So hopefully we'll see you on the next few, and please again watch it. And until the next one, stay chipper, chaps.
Stay chipper.